Hey Joe, it's Folks here, and in today's video we're talking about some of the biggest mistakes that beginners make with their print-on-demand designs. Recently, I got to travel to Printify HQ in Latvia to attend the world's first print-on-demand live event. While I was there, I spoke on a few different panels and I even did a live Q&A with the audience. One of the biggest questions I got was, should I hire a designer to make my print-on-demand design? And for me, the answer is simple. If before you started print-on-demand, you never did anything with graphic design, then yes, you should hire a designer. And that is mistake number one for today's video. If you don't have graphic design experience, then you should not be making your own design. In a lot of cases, you can fast track your success by actually hiring a designer. Hiring a designer is not as hard or as expensive as you may think. If you want to check out my free Shopify print-on-demand course, there's a link down in the description. I have some videos in there teaching you how to hire a designer. Take a look at this design here. The product is a cell phone wallet case. This is a print-on-demand product that you can make designs for. What I want you to take a peek at here is the text on this design. And now look at this design here. This is what I call using text that looks like it was typed inside of Microsoft Word. It's just so basic. It honestly looks like it was typed inside of a Google Doc and then pasted onto a print-on-demand design. In order to create awesome print-on-demand designs, you need to have awesome text. And again, if we refer back to this, the text here is awesome. The font they chose, the texture, and even the slightly rounded shape, all of it together makes an awesome addition to the design and will likely result in more sales. Recently, I was out to eat and saw this. Obviously, something like this can't be sold. It is a picture of the Grinch on the hoodie. I also saw this ad here pop up inside of my newsfeed the other day. And this one, while it is kind of genius, has multiple issues. Not only does it violate two Nike trademarks with the Nike swoosh logo and the Just Do It slogan, but they also are using the likeness of Michael Myers from the Halloween series. This means they are violating trademarks and copyrights at the same time. If this is confusing to you, I hope to make it simple. A trademark is something that a business will file to protect something that defines its brand, such as a slogan or a logo. And a copyright, while similar, is a little bit different. It is natural protection that a business or someone gets when they create something. So in this example here, the Nike logo and the Nike slogan is the thing that is trademark, and then, like I said earlier, the likeness of the Michael Myers character is what is the copyright violation in this design. Both of these things can get you in trouble. At the end of today's video, I will show you a few examples of designs that are probably legal even though they get pretty close to violating trademark. In general, as a rule of thumb for you, do not use any logos or slogans or character names or character faces or even song lyrics. If you see other print-on-demand stores doing those things, it's not that they are getting away with it, it's just that they haven't been caught yet. At some point, the owner of the trademark or the owner of the copyright will notice and they will take action. Using trademarks or violating copyrights in your design could result in lawsuits or even your store getting shut down. Another huge mistake I see beginners make is one that they make after they hear me tell them to avoid selling shirts. If you haven't heard me say that before, really the reason is simple. They are pretty saturated and they are super low in profit. What I try to do instead is choose high profit products to add to my print-on-demand store. And if you're starting POD right now, I would advise you to do the same. A lot of times when people hear me say this, they will try to sell higher profit products. Problem is they'll take their designs from a t-shirt and just throw them on higher profit items. What you get is something like this here. It's kind of an ugly design. There's honestly just way too much blank space. They've basically just taken their t-shirt design, thrown it on the back of the car seat cover and called it a day. What you should do instead is something like this here, where you actually create a design specifically for your product. The result will be a much more tasteful item that people will likely have more reason to want to buy. Here's another major mistake I see beginners make. A lot of times there's a lot of hype around different holidays or even different times of year. Selling print-on-demand products for different seasons or holidays could be a very profitable thing. The mistake though is making making your design only about that holiday or only about the season. Take a look at some of these designs on the screen that are popping up right now. You can see that there is no real niche present in them. Basically, the creators have only focused on the holiday or the time of year with the design. This one specifically is only about Christmas. This one here is only about the fall or the autumn season. And when you do that, there is no real niche present. A niche is a group of people that share an interest. It's a passion that people have, or a hobby that they love, or a job that they do. And if your design only represents a holiday or a season, you might not make as many sales as you would hope. What you would want to do instead is blend a real niche with the holiday. Something like this here is a much better way to make sales tied to a holiday, or even like this here if you're trying to make sales that are tied to a specific season. When you do it like that, you are much more likely to get people to impulse purchase your item because it represents a niche they love and it also is relevant to the time of year. Those two things together can be very powerful. My biggest advice though would be, if you are a beginner, to maybe avoid even trying something like that at the beginning. The reason is because if you put all of your time into focusing on a holiday or a season, as soon as that holiday is over or as soon as that season passes, you are going to have to reinvent your entire store. What you should do instead is focus on developing an evergreen store, one that does not relate to specific holidays or seasons. That way you can get that established first, and as time goes on, if you wanted to layer in some of those more seasonally appropriate items, you definitely could. That way you're constantly making sales, and then you can also take advantage of the time of year. Earlier I mentioned that I would be showing you some designs that sort of represent a trademarked thing, but I think are potentially legal. This one here is a dog canvas that is pretty close to the Buffalo Bills color scheme and logo on their actual jerseys, but if you look closely, you'll see that it is not actually the logo. It is actually just a outline of a dog. This store here is doing this for lots of different sports teams, and I think that they are probably in the clear. Obviously, I am not a lawyer, so don't take any of this as business advice. Another one would be this one here. This is obviously representing the Harry Potter movie, but there's no mention of Harry, there's no character names or really anything besides the font and the color scheme used in the design that would make you even think about Harry Potter. For that reason, I think they are likely going to be okay. But again, I am not a lawyer, so don't take any of this as actual business advice. Let me know down in the comments below if you think that I am right. And if you disagree, just let me know as well. At the end of the day, I don't really care. I just thought this was cool to include because I thought those designs were awesome and I wanted to share them. To recap, some things we talked about today were hiring a designer if you don't have the experience, making sure that you are using better text or different fonts in your designs to make them better. We talked about avoiding copyrights and trademarks in your designs. We talked about making awesome designs for your product and not just taking the same design from a t-shirt and throwing it on lots of different things. And we talked about trying to make sure that you are representing an actual niche in your seasonal or holiday designs, so that way you can actually get people more excited. If this video was helpful, make sure to drop a like on it. Like I said at the beginning, if you need help actually starting yourself a print-on-demand store, down in the description, I do have a free Shopify print-on-demand course. There is over 30 videos inside of it that will help you to start your store. So make sure to check that out. Like I said, the link is down in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.